It turned out to be a rare weekend of good news for the President of the United States. The Mueller report has been delivered after all the accusations of it being a witch hunt. Robert Mueller and his 13 angry Democrats did not come to a conclusion of collusion, according to Trump's newly appointed Attorney General. No one else has actually seen the Mueller report. They say even Trump's team hasn't seen it all yet, but going from the summary the Attorney General released this weekend, there will be no new charges, and now the process of tearing our country even further apart can finally begin. The president, of course, was very excited. He took his celebration to Twitter. He wrote, "No collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration. Keep America great." That's right, complete, he learned to spell exoneration, and total exoneration. Except for this from Robert Mueller, who wrote, "While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him." I bet Trump didn't even make it to the end of that sentence. He did, "While this report does not conclude the president committed a crime," okay, I'm done, I'm good. But all I know is I haven't been this confused about an ending since the series finale of Lost. I don't know. It's kind of funny, though. Half of America is upset that our president didn't collude with Russia. Seems like we should probably be happy about that, shouldn't we? And didn't we really all, deep down, didn't we know Trump probably didn't collude with Russia because he could never pull that off? And even if he did collude, it probably would have been by accident. Putin wanted him in there and did what he had to do. Basically, Trump got in the White House the same way Lori Loughlin got her kid into USC. But with that said, make no mistake, this was a bigly victory for the president, and there was much celebration in the Trump camp last night. I hear Kellyanne Conway drank the blood of an entire goat last night. That's right. The only way Trump could be happier with this Mueller report is if a porn star rolled it up and spanked him with it.
This was an illegal takedown that failed. And hopefully, somebody's going to be looking at the other side. So it's complete exoneration, no collusion, no obstruction. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to visit my campaign manager in prison. So far, as a result of this investigation, 37 people and entities have been charged with a total of 199 criminal counts, and 5 people have been sentenced to prison. But for the president, who cares? He was off to the golf course to play golf with his favorite kid, that being Kid Rock, who posted this incredible photo to Twitter. "Sorry, Betsy Ross. Those are the kind of pants you wear to get shot out of a cannon." This photo, to me, looks like a billboard for a sitcom about a used car salesman who has to move into his dad's nursing home after a messy divorce. You know the country is nuts when the president spends the weekend hanging out with Kid Rock. It's not even close to being the lead story, but the president is feeling very magnanimous today after all the things he said about Robert Mueller. Today he said he thinks Mueller acted honorably. He also said it wouldn't bother him at all if the Attorney General releases the full Mueller report. I think he said that about his taxes, too, so we'll see. This is a weird one. You know, cable news was really scrambling this weekend. They've been waiting 2 years for this report, and so it was probably no coincidence the Attorney General dropped the story Friday night after everyone went home from work. But this was a tweet from CNN. The caption says, "On the evening Robert Mueller submitted his report to the Justice Department, President Trump was on the tiled patio of Mar-a-Lago, bathed in golden light with his wife and son, Barron, who had reached teenagerhood 2 days earlier." Who's writing their tweets? Judy Blume? It's really, since they went above 140 characters. So, Sarah Huckabee Sanders bathed in the golden light of the Today Show this morning, and she sat down for a little yell at Savannah Guthrie.
The president has absolutely eviscerated Bob Mueller. Did Robert Mueller deserve better from the president than this kind of language and behavior?
Frankly, I think the American people deserved better. They didn't deserve for the election of this president to try to be taken down.
Wait a minute, but the president's rhetoric about a public servant doing a job.
Are you kidding? The president's rhetoric matches. They are literally, the media and Democrats have called the president an agent of a foreign government.
Wait,
But that is an accusation equal to treason, which is punishable by death in this country.
Off with Chuck Schumer's head. What? Punishable by death? Calm down, King Joffrey. Nothing's punishable by death. All the White House attack dogs are out today. The president's vice poodle, Mike Pence, spoke at AIPAC this morning, where he gave the results of the Mueller report some historical spin.
Yesterday was a great day for our country, our president, and every American who cherishes the truth.
Look at how bummed he is. He is so disappointed right now. He's like, I could have been president. Now all I have left is the Space Force. And as if Trump didn't have enough to celebrate, Michael Avenatti, the former lawyer for Stormy Daniels, was arrested and charged with multiple crimes today. The day after, he was charged by prosecutors in New York and California with extortion and wire and bank fraud. He's accused of trying to extort $25 million from Nike and embezzling money from a client. He also allegedly used fake tax returns to get millions of dollars in loans from a bank. Here's my hope on this whole thing. I hope he hires Rudy Giuliani to represent him. Wouldn't that be fun? But it really is astonishing. The day after Trump skates on collusion, Michael Avenatti is arrested. I mean, all I have to do now is replace the bald eagle with a fried chicken. This will be the best week of the president's life. Thanks for watching. And remember, every time you click the subscribe button, one of your enemies gets destroyed.